Dr.K.Gayathri, Associate Professor and Deputy Head Department of Physics, Amit University. Now we are going to learn about different types of modulation. So modulation is divided into two categories. One is analog modulation and another one is digital modulation. Analog modulation is divided into amplitude analog modulation, frequency analog modulation and phase analog modulation. The similar way, digital modulation is divided into amplitude shift keying, frequency shift keying and phase shift keying. So we can see one by one. The first one is analog modulation. We are going to see about the amplitude modulation. So in amplitude modulation, the original baseband signal will have some amplitude and the carrier frequency will be with the similar frequency and same amplitude. So when we are mixing together, the amplitude of the final modulated signal will vary, whereas the frequency and phase remains constant. Amplitude modulation, only the amplitude of the modulated signal varies, whereas the phase and frequency remains constant. So in the next case, frequency modulation. In frequency analog modulation, the frequency of the modulated wave varies, whereas the amplitude and phase remains constant. You can see the video, you can see the carrier wave is with the equal frequency, with the same frequency, and the amplitude is also same. Depending on the baseband signal, the modulated signal varies with the frequency. So now coming back to the frequency modulated signal. So in frequency modulation, it is widely used for its application. So it has less distortion and noise protection. So we are using in many applications. Next one is phase modulation. In phase modulation, only the phase changes, whereas the frequency and amplitude remains the change. You can see whenever baseband signal moves up, that is in the crest region, it is in the same way, the amplitude, frequency, everything is same, and the phase alone changes. When it is dropping down, you can see some changes in the phase. So that is called phase modulation. Now the next one is digital modulation. In digital modulation, the first one is amplitude shift keying. Similar to the amplitude analog modulation, amplitude shift keying also, the amplitude of the modulated signal changes and the frequency and phase remains constant. So you can see the binary format. You have to understand one thing in digital modulation, the original voice or video or everything will be in the sine wave format. So that sine wave format is converted into binary format, and then that binary format is modulated with the help of the carrier frequency. So in the amplitude shift keying, only the amplitude of the end modulated wave changes. The remaining frequency and phase remains constant. Next one is the frequency shift keying. Similar to that of the frequency modulation in analog format, here also only the frequency of the final modulated changes, whereas the phase and amplitude remains constant. Now you would have understood what will be the phase. Only the phase changes and the frequency and amplitude remains constant. Thank you.